Back to the ICE project. This episode is brought to you by Kelly Partners. As always, ICE.
Yeah, Kelly Partners, best accounting firm in Australia, in Sydney. Danny's been a friend of mine and sort of helps me out for a lot of things in business. So he's a great guy to get involved with. He's got a lot of business now in and around him, and he actually fucking cares about his businesses and his clients as well. So if you need an accounting firm for your business, make sure you hit up Danny. So hit down the link in the description.
We are here. This is trending. It's been a long time between trends.
5 years. 5 years? 5 years. 5 months. 5 months.
Yeah, beauty. Next trending episode will be in the metaverse if we keep spacing out like this.
Hope so.
It has been it was interesting. We were looking before the last one of these that we did was when you put sort of like that plan together for an NRL NFT. It's probably going to be a big topic of today's episode. NFTs have gone crazy in that period. You've got a little Big Daddy, or what's yours one called?
Oh, I forgot what it's called, bro. Someone just talked me into it. So like obviously like you, I was into it a little bit earlier than you, and then you've sort of dived super deep into it. So as a collector, I've got a couple things. I can't even remember what they are. I've signed into a few raffles with metaverse and stuff like that, and I think that's fallen on its ass. So it is a massive bubble right now, but it's an exciting space. There is going to be growth there, much like the Internet 2000, where there are a lot of shit websites or a lot of shit tech companies. Yeah. A lot of them are going to fall over, but there's a couple of exciting projects in there.
Yeah, I remember. So I sort of I just kept seeing everyone's Twitter avatars like changing to these like just little pixelated characters, and I was like, I'd obviously heard of what a CryptoPunk was and everything like that, but then when I was like, okay, how does this work? Why are they so popular? And you sort of dived into it, and then you realize that people are putting utility behind a token. Do you want to explain to everyone what a utility is?
So basically what a utility is like if you get a certain type of NFT, it allows something to open up. So say if we had YKTR NFTs and I wanted to launch an early access code NFT, so and you got that NFT, you'd be part of that list that gets early access, or it might be a 10% discount for the whole year or 20% discount for the whole year. So that's what utility is. Instead of just, this is where a lot of people get confused with the cross between physical and digital, is that a lot of people are just buying digital for the sake of it, buying digital, and that's where the people get confused. But if it's got utility behind it, it's just like a VIP pass to some things. So that's a good way to look at it. Yeah,
so one of my NFTs, I have an Atom Bomb, which is a clothing brand in the US or
Bobby
LA,
Hundreds,
Bobby Hundreds. He's always sort of been a little bit ahead in the space in the way that he's thinking, and purely I bought it as well because it's obviously relevant to what we do here. It could be interesting to see how that plays out. The utility of that is like early access drops. You get unique NFT merch based around your own Atom Bomb. I own the licensing of that Atom Bomb now, which is cool. And I think, I don't know, like we were talking about it, there's so many projects. You go on OpenSea, and for those who don't know what OpenSea, it's pretty much like the eBay of NFTs.
It's be interesting if because Coinbase is coming into the NFT market, and I think Coinbase has got the most adoption because it's so easy to use. Yeah. So there might be a bit of competition coming up.
Yeah, but you sign in, you can either purchase it and mint it directly from Atom Bomb when they release, or you can pick it up on eBay, which is effectively the secondary market. I missed the drop, but I got in at a reasonably good rate, I think. I paid like 0.15 back in the day. Ethereum, and it's cool to have. It's my Twitter avatar. It's fun.
So what Gary Vee sort of talks about, where this is going to be massive is for people like musicians and artists and stuff like that. So say if you're an up and coming musician, and some firefighters out there, up and coming musician, and you've got a loyal fan base of 1,000 people down in Melbourne, and you launch an NFT and that type of, and say it's $1,000 per NFT and 1,000 people buy that, that's, what's it, that $1 million? Yeah. Oh, let's go cheaper. Okay, $100 for an NFT and 1,000 NFTs, you will get 100,000, but then you could give out 20% of royalties for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
So what happens then is they'll buy this NFT off you for $100, but then they'll become your raving fans because they have equity within you as a brand. So that's the really exciting part. So we've got a few ideas. I don't know how much we'll talk about a couple ideas with Cheese and potential other athletes, but I think NFT is going to launch into everything. So you'll buy tickets, it'll all be NFTs. Everything's going to be NFT soon. So
I
better learn it now.
Yeah. So when I did that, like a Zoom conference thing a few weeks back, when they was like it had like the PGA of Australia, Melbourne Victory were on there having their say of what they want to do with their ticketing and memberships through NFTs. I know, obviously the Rabbitohs have recently signed up with someone to start building out what an NFT looks like for them. I think Parramatta have done a quite similar thing too. So it's definitely something that everyone's going to be looking at. And it's just like that digital record. Like imagine, like I think I heard someone say once, remember Woodstock back in the day, that massive festival? Imagine if you could like connect with people that were there and you definitely know where they were there if they was on the blockchain, and it's that you show them that, hey, we can link
you're
up
about to
again.
track it, yeah, 100%. So, but the thing about it is, and I think Gary Vee always does it right, and I'm filthy I missed out on V Friends. That's one of my biggest regrets I've ever had.
Yeah, we spoke about that on the last podcast too. It had just dropped, and you sort of explained it a little bit, and you're like, oh, I'll think about it.
Yeah, I'll hold off. I thought I was going to get it later. But the good thing about his one is community and access. It's the same thing. So how we've built YKTR is build a community off the back of Instagram and Facebook and stuff like that. So if people feel a part of it, it's just that next level, much how we do Doozy Club now. So we've just got a text line directly for Doozy Club, and we potentially could give them early access or discount codes, or if we've got excess stock that needs to, we can get rid of for a bit cheaper as well for them. We can give them a code and go, hey, we're not going to promote this on Instagram or Facebook, but because you're part of the Doozy Club, here's a discount for that as well.
Yeah.
So that's what community and access do. It's like being friends with someone that's in the know. And that's what NFTs can do for a brand.
Yeah, and it's cool because it's like anyone, obviously we have a community now, you go to the pub, you see someone wearing YKTR, you have that connection with someone, but it's almost like that physical connection, and that can perish, whereas if it's something, an NFT, it's non-fungible. It can't disappear.
Yeah.
It's documented, it's there, it's on the blockchain.
And we had 20 randoms in our office last week, and they all just, none of them really knew each other, but they all bonded across the same things, and their thing was us. Like they knew a story, and it was a little bit weird because when they come in, like obviously they know all about us, and we'll go, oh hey, like Luke, Isaac, and they're like, oh, you don't have to say your name, like we know who you are, but just out of courtesy, it's just what you do. But they're all pretty much in the same boat. Either followed us from the start, and like favorite merch, and sort of they're just talking about a few different things, much like sports, bro. It's very similar. Yeah. So that was their sort of common thing all together, and that's what brought us together.
It's exactly the same because we're the entertainment, and sport is entertainment. So it's literally exactly the same thing. There's the big NFT conference at the moment. Like you mentioned Gary Vee before, all the big players, you see like Banks and all these big NFT guys are all over there at the moment. Be cool to have one of them down here.
Yeah, 100%. I think everyone's still trying to figure it out as much as those guys over there are as well. I think Gary Vee's got us, but you see Ronnie Fag from Kith as well.
When I sent you that, I'm like, I know you'll like this.
Yeah, because that's the crossover of like all the cool things. And like he's a New York guy as well. So is Gary Vee. So obviously there's that cross collab. But Bobby Hundreds, if you don't know who he is, he was kind of one of the first LA brands on Fairfax, and everyone sort of knows Fairfax now for Supreme and Flight Club and sort of stuff like that. It's a really small bit of road. It's probably like 150 meters. Golf's there as well. Like you can rock up there and see like Tyler the Creator, or you can see Justin Bieber. Like it's just a weird little part of the road that people fuck with, and he was kind of the first guy into there. So he's got a pretty cool story on Complex, the Blueprint. Yeah. So if you want to go check him out, check him out.
Yeah, that's a mad series, The Blueprint. They've just started re-releasing a few episodes now.
Yeah, I'm pumped about
that. They had my mate from Lyrical Lemonade. He's got his series on there. They had another one I wanted to watch.
I found it interesting that FaZe and that of going for, like, they got $1 billion valuation off the back of...
Well, they've gone public, which is crazy. Just to think about a few guys that just did Call of Duty highlights and built this, like, empire off the back of it where it's closed. They're doing collabs with McDonald's.
Yeah, they're the big crazy dogs. Too smart. Smart.
So, I know we've talked about them and 100 Thieves a few times on here. So other big topic of late is the metaverse, which is all intertwined with NFTs as well. Oh no, the cheese,
we'll
obviously.
Talk about cheese, yeah. Cheese has obviously signed up with us, and one of the big things we talked about it on one of the shows where I shoot first, aim later. This is kind of what they're... So earlier on in the week, me and Luke are trying to figure out NFTs, and we're like, we need like the Shopify of NFTs, and we looked up one, and it's called nameless.io, and obviously Gary Vee's linked it to that as well. So he's already ahead of... Because I was going to Danny, we need to build a Shopify of NFTs so the marketplace can come straight on. So I'm trying to figure that out. I've got a meeting with a NFT guy next week as well on Friday, so you can come on that. But I think it's going to be a big play moving forward in everything that we do. I've already got the utilities and that thought out. Yeah. Cheese is here in the next couple of weeks, so we'll sit down and have a strategy meeting about content, about where he fits into YKTR, about NFT strategies as well. But I'm excited about that. We haven't quite figured it out.
Yeah, it's cool. Like, obviously, I won't go into it, but like what he wants to use it for is like a really cool thing too. It's not like an NFT.
Have I told you the next part that he wants to do?
Maybe not. Oh, okay. We'll go offline and talk. But that first part when we were at the cafe, I'm like, it's like, because I think there's a lot of, like, we were talking yesterday at Adeponia when he was in here about NFTs, and he's looking to launch one himself with his girlfriend. But like talking about things like Mello's NFT and some of the Tom Brady stuff that you see out there, it feels like it's definitely just for a collectible aspect of it. There's not much like
utility,
which is sort of the big part of the community side of it. So I know. I think that we can really nail that because that's why KTR is. It's all about community. So we understand that comes first, and good things just come off the back of that.
And we're low key doing some market research now with the Doozy Club. You know what I mean? Like to see the reaction off the back of that. We just gave away a full collection today. They're going to get early access tonight as well. So to see what they talk about it when you're having a beer with them. I think it justifies the $20 spend a month. Like not only like a lot of people will do. So you go Flagrant 2 and you can sign up to their Patreon and you get $20. So do I. I sign up to those because I just want to support them. You might get 1 or 2 episodes behind the scenes where we'll go content every week, discount codes. We're giving away something every week this week for the Doozy Club plus events as well. So it's about the value proposition being a lot higher than the dollar value, and that's really important for me.
Yeah, because it's also like not outside of what we're doing day to day anyway. It just adds to it. Yeah. Like we're going to have a beer in the office on Friday anyway. So let's have 20 of the best come around and have a beer with us too. It was awesome. Like everyone there was champions. So
I think we will. So if people do or don't know that I run a digital agency as well. I don't run it the day-to-day running of it, but I own half of it. But we're probably going to pivot from digital marketing to maybe NFT stuff as well pretty soon because it's going to be massive. So you want to sort of dip your fingers. So Cheese is going to be a project. YKTR is going to be a project. I've got a pretty interesting sports star that wants to sign off YKTR next. It'll probably blow your mind that like if we can nail this first project and we become the experts in the space for that digital marketing agency side of it, it's going to be interesting as well.
Yeah, 100%. And maybe we'll have a Doozy Club meetup in the metaverse one day. Yeah. So that way everyone can attend because that's the thing that hurts at the moment because like we've only been able to do Syndey events. We want to get out there, we want to see everyone, but Zuckerberg last week had his little hour-and-a-half metaverse presentation. It was pretty cool, eh?
He's weird. He's like...
Yeah.
Obviously, if you're going to be that successful, you're going to have to be a little bit weird. You look at Jeff Bezos, you look at Elon Musk, you look at them. They all look like a little bit weird.
Yeah.
But metaverse pumped about it. I know a lot of people aren't. But think of it like this. So when our parents come home or when we were kids, everyone got home, sat on the couch, watched TV. Now we're a little bit older. We go home, sit on the couch, sit on our phones. So that transition for a lot of people would have been weird. And then now eventually what's going to happen is we'll go home, sit on the couch, put on glasses or put on a headset and we can duck into the metaverse. Yeah. And everything about the metaverse excites me. You could be like the first ideas that I heard, like a lot of people would be like, oh, everyone's just going to be lazy and sitting at home. But what happens if you signed up to David Goggins' monthly run subscription and you've got a treadmill in your house and you put the glasses on and you're going for a run and this is $20 a month. And then when you look to the left, fucking Goggins is next year and he's gassing you up. Like there's always going to be utility for all these different things that are coming. People can go hang out. We could go watch we could go home today. Like Scope loves NFL. So instead of flying over to the Super Bowl and it's going to be in LA this year at the Rams Stadium, which is going to be amazing, there's going to be someone sitting sideline with the glasses on and you will pay probably the same price that you're going to pay for a ticket anyway. But instead of having 80 to 100,000 in there, you could have millions and millions of people. And you might pay extra for the top up. And there's a guy that runs out and Travis Scott's performing on the stage and you're right next to Travis Scott. Coachella, instead of just selling a certain amount of tickets, there's going to be someone there walking around and you'll have your fucking glasses and stuff as well. And the world just starts over again. So there's things like Sandbox, there's things like Decentraland. If you think like Manhattan when it first started, everyone just tries to grab land first. Like, let's just get the best locations first and then build a business on top of it as well. So many interesting aspects coming for it.
Yeah, and if you're in tech and if you're like a tech developer, like that's where Facebook, I think it was $150 billion they're investing in it, some crazy number.
I think they're the best ones to bring it to the mainstream, much like how Coinbase was probably going to help NFTs, I think, because Facebook's so recognizable, but it's like a matured platform. Like it started in 2008, so everyone's kind of used to it as well. It is like they control data. So the big thing about cryptocurrency and everything else is decentralized. So they might be the new decentralized social media platform where no one really owns it, but everyone can put content on top of it. Yeah,
100%. Did you see yesterday? Sorry, I should have put this in the notes. Commonwealth Bank are going to be the first Australian bank, and obviously they're the big dogs as well.
Are they the big dogs here? I saw the numbers of how much.
Yeah, they've definitely got the most market share. So they're the biggest of the big four, which is kind of crazy in that world. Like I'd love to be like back in the day. There would have been like conversations that I would have been privy to, like what's going on in head office and stuff like that. It always gets leaked first, but the fact that you'll be able to go into your CommBank app, which I'd love to. I'll look up the number. Well, I'll pivot to you next. But they're definitely the biggest bank by far in Australia.
But the thing is now, like we're at our age now where we've got like a little bit of disposable income. I seen Marlboro's put up a post yesterday where, like, back in the day, everyone would try and use their money to buy a house, and then he was like potentially start a business. Well, if you look at cryptocurrency, if you look at the metaverse or anything like that, so let's go back to 2000s. The people that made money and they had disposable income, they were investing into Amazon and Google. So what you do when something new comes in, you try and invest to the right platform straight away. So anyone that put money on Amazon or Google or whatever, Apple, they would have made a bit of money right then. Web 2.0 comes along, aka social media. If you had 25K on Instagram and Tumblr and Twitter and Facebook, you would have made millions and millions of dollars. And it's the same thing again. So people that saw crypto coming, they're like, oh, Ethereum's going to be the blockchain that everything's built on top of. Bitcoin's going to be the, what's it called? Store value of cryptocurrency. So they can see it coming, so they invest into the platforms early. Now the metaverse is coming. You want to try and invest into the right platforms early. Is it Sandbox? Is it Decentraland? Is it Facebook? So if you've got disposable income and you've done your fuckload of research, I'll be trying to get into these first. And then off the back of that, you build a business on top of it. So when tech come, if you didn't invest early, you could make more money. You could make money again by starting an e-commerce fucking store or online company. Social media comes. Like if you haven't invested into the platform early, you can build a YKTR is built off the back of Instagram and Facebook. So we've built on top of social media, and now the metaverse is coming, or Ethereum, which is the blockchain. Most NFTs are sold on Ethereum. So you build a business on top of that, and same with the metaverse. So try and invest early, do your research, and then once it comes, you got a chance to build businesses on top of it. So that's a good way to look at it.
And on that point specifically, you look at a company like Nike registering trademarks or whatever they did this week.
Digital
the digital IP for all the stuff. So they've like, that's going to be them. You're going to be able to pick, when Zuckerberg's on his thing, picking his character, like they're going to be officially licensed Nike clothing in there. And so it's something that I said that to you straight. I'm like, bro, that's mad too. Like,
and the hard thing is, like, once you can cross it over, and I have this conversation all the time of being like physical assets and digital assets. Once you can cross that over mentally, it just, like, the world just opens up. Like, I've given you a bunch of ideas in. I think about this shit all the time. So right now, if someone offered me a Lamborghini or a CryptoPunk,
yeah, you take the CryptoPunk.
I'd take the CryptoPunk. Yeah. Not everyone would.
Yeah.
But because we know the value of a digital asset, and that's kind of like the OG space, you'd take a CryptoPunk?
Yeah, 100%.
Jacko, what would you? Lambo or crypto? Yeah, so like, and then once you see it, and then obviously if you start investing into cryptocurrencies and you can see the swings and you understand like what Ethereum actually does and what Solana's going to do to sort of help change that as well. Fuck, it's so interesting, man.
Like I just sold my property, and there's so many things throughout the process. I'm like, if this was like document on the blockchain, it would just remove so many parties from the equation. It wouldn't have to have a conveyancer. It'd just be all there on the smart contract. And then, so that'll be the future as well. You see the next play will be like real estate agent. Someone will buy a house like on the contract in Ethereum, in Bitcoin or something along those lines. It's all, to throw back to this moment, we can clip this when someone does. Yeah. I've always wanted to do that.
Oh, that old photo I had when I had Decentraland that you done that edited in, but that was like the first ever time I felt like Gary Vee.
Yeah.
Where we could swing back to like 6 months, and like Mana, which is the currency within Decentraland, went up like by a couple of dollars. So a lot of people would have made some money.
That was fun. I've walked around in that. Remember I was trying to do it in the office on Monday, but I was like, I did it at home a few weeks ago, and I was like, oh, this is kind of like mad trippy. Like
this, do you know why this excites me? Because obviously I listen to a lot of Gary Vee, but like he used to always talk about like the first time he heard the internet, it was like dial up, and then the first time he saw YouTube, you're like, this is it. So we're probably at an age now where we're old enough. There's enough pattern recognition. Like nothing like this has ever happened before, but it actually has. Yeah, like it's the same process. Yeah. Like when land was discovered, everyone tries to get the best land. You build the best business. People come there. You monetize through there. It's just the same thing, but it's going to be virtual. And the best thing about a virtual world, you can live in the real world if you want. Like we've got no choice. We have to live here. Yeah. If you got the metaverse coming through and you got the glasses at home, you don't have to. You don't. I think it eliminates a lot of travel too.
Yeah. Well, like that's the thing. One of the big things in the presentation, they like sort of dived in it to sort of show everyone how it fits into their world. So they're showing like you can have virtual office meetings, you can play fencing with like a gun fencer from the Olympics or whatever.
That's what it's going to be, bro. Yeah. It's just the way it is. So if you think about, let's go to LA, let's sit on a 16-hour flight. If you've been to LA, like it's all right. Like if you go to the Hollywood stars, you're like, oh fuck, this is like pretty rank. There's like homeless people everywhere. Nothing against homeless people, but it's like it doesn't look like what you think it is. And you walk up, you see the Hollywood sign, like, oh, this is it. I remember I went to Stonehenge. Is that what it's called? Stonehenge. Yeah. It's like one of the 7 wonders of the world.
Yeah.
And I remember getting there, and I'm like, fuck, is this it?
I think that was Logan Paul. He had it in his vlog recently. It was with Mike, and they were there, and they're like, "Oh, okay."
Bro, you can't even get close. You can't even get close to the cunt. So I remember just going. So if you could eliminate that experience, I don't know. Like, would you travel?
Yeah, it's like I like Ready Player One. I watched that after the Facebook thing the other day, just to because everyone's like, "Oh, you got to watch it," and I hadn't watched it yet, and I was like, "Oh, this is cool." Like in terms of like his fitness, like they have those like mats. Like this is a movie, obviously, but it's like 360-degree treadmills, so you can like run and all that stuff that you're doing. You're still working and like the vests and stuff. So if you get hit, he's like,
yeah,
like,
it's cool. I don't know how that's gonna work, but fuck, it's gonna be mad.
Yeah, because I've had a VR headset once. Like I had the Google one.
So like people don't understand this. Your brain can only process what your eyes can see. So if you might be the smartest guy in the world, but if we go to a scary movie and the clown jumps out, you're still gonna.
I'm shitting myself. I hate clowns
because it's fucking in front of you.
Yeah,
and a lot of like people when they dream, like your body doesn't treat your body any different when it dreams. So if you're like, if you ever had that dream when you're falling out the sky and you wake up just before you hit the water, and you wake up and your heart's racing, like your body just reacts to what your eyes can see. And when you're sleeping, you're in a dreaming state. That's just how it is.
Yeah. Fuck, exciting times.
Yeah, fuck, I'm so excited, But the interesting part of it, and like say if I'm forward thinking and I was like, fuck, we're going to dive into this NFT space pretty soon. We're probably in the right place to capitalize off the back of that as well. But metaverse as well. When we move in there, wonder how easy it would be to make a fucking digital YKTR shirt. I don't think it'd be too hard.
Yeah.
But then obviously you're going to put a limit on it. So if we go into a doozy club meet and everyone's in the metaverse, but someone's got the gold doozy shirt, like he's the man.
Yeah.
It's the same. It's status signaling. So that's why the people wear Rolexes. Like, so you know when you look down, you're like, oh, he's got a bit of money.
Yeah.
Everyone does status signaling for something.
So there's that Gary Vee clip where he's like, what is the real value of a blue tick?
Like, social currency. Yeah. People know that you're an influencer.
Yeah.
Like, see how happy Geordie got when he got his. That's what it is. And then people recognize him as someone of importance in that space, in Instagram.
Yeah. So
that's what it is. It's just going to rinse and repeat, and fuck, I can't wait. Do you know what the exciting thing is? So say 20 years, I'll be 50.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Fuck, later, bolt. Straight in the metaverse.
Yeah.
Young ass, cruising around.
Courtside at Lakers.
In Bali, drinking. That'd be cool. I don't know. It's going to be cool, bro.
Yeah, all the games on that Facebook thing looks crazy. It's like, oh, you can play like ping pong with a random. And it's just like...
Won't be doing that. I'll be doing better shit than
there's
that.
other things to do.
And then the same thing, like you build the subscription models, and like we could have had that doozy club for all 500 members in the metaverse.
Yeah.
And they could stay, like someone was on a train for 2.5 hours just to come have a beer with us for 2 hours and a few pizzas. You put the glasses on and you're in.
Do what you want. Well, that's trending for this week, and we'll be back soon.
Yeah, obviously there's a lot going on in the world right now, so we'll probably do this every 2 weeks. Yeah. Alternate this and inside. So yeah, shout out guys, like, comment and subscribe.